Coming up on Point News, Point Park's annual social media conference is going on right now. We'll tell you about the keynote speakers.
And we'll show you the sights and sounds of the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade.
And find out what causes making people run around in their underwear. Point News starts now.
Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Good afternoon, I'm Veronica Pucilli.
And I'm Amanda Brown. Our top story of the day is the Center for Media Innovations is holding its annual Berg 3.0 social media event at this moment. 3 panels are in session as we speak until 2:30. The topics of business-to-business communications, public relations, and journalism. The keynote panel begins at 2:45 at the Pittsburgh It features, Tony Norman of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Julie Grant of KDKA News, and Oliver Schmidt of C4CS, and Sammy J. of Pittsburgh United, a community activism and labor organizing group. The panel originally featured former WTAE anchor Wendy Bell, who backed out of speaking at the event.
Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Doyle is holding a town hall this weekend in Pittsburgh.
Point News reporter Delaney Bomis has the details.
PA Congressman Mike Doyle is holding a town hall meeting on Saturday from 2 to 4 at Soldiers and Sailors Hall in Oakland. He'll talk about legislation to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. Doyle claims that House Republicans have taken out the affordable aspect from the bill. He worries many citizens won't have access to health care. He says, quote, "If you're a working family in my district, it's going to be tougher to be able to purchase insurance." Doyle's town hall will be open to both the press and the public. Reporting for Point News, I'm Delaney Bomis.
International Women's Day called for equality all around the world, and people rallied in support of women's rights in downtown.
Point News reporter Tanasia Law has the story.
Individuals all over the world are following direct actions in honor of International Women's Day. One action is to wear red in solidarity, and another is to join the strike in Pittsburgh in front of the city-county building. Hundreds of people rallied downtown in solidarity against the ongoing discrimination of women. Organizers encouraged women to participate in direct actions such as striking to show just how important and impactful women really are. Speakers at the strike included representatives from LGBT advocacy groups, disability rights organizations, Black Lives Matter, and labor unions. Point Park University student Catherine Schuster and her friends showed up to join in on the action.
Women are as equal to men's rights as possible, and trans lives matter, Black lives matter, everything matters, and everyone is equal, and we just have to express that that's what it is.
And women weren't the only ones in attendance at the event. Surrounded by the power of red was John Bernardin McNulty with his instruments in hand, happy to come out and support.
I think it's important to stand for solidarity with our mothers and our sisters and our wives and our girlfriends, because even my rational Spock male brain tells me that not a single human being alive on this planet today, no matter how rich, how huge, how powerful you think you are, you wouldn't be here without a woman. You came through the body of a woman. Most of us were raised by, maybe not all, but you certainly came through the body of one. So you need to show respect, and you need to know your place.
John has hope for the future, but says that these topics are important to talk about, but a lot of the time, people aren't willing and ready for it. Reporting for Point News, I'm Tanasia Law.
All right, after the break, come learn about the history of the new Pittsburgh Courier.
Point News will be right back.
Here on the Pioneer Sideline, we talk a lot about sports in the studio, but it's beforehand when the conversation is actually interesting.
I hope I have enough powder on. I don't want to be too shiny on camera.
No, Trevor, I think it looks good every week you pull it off.
Ah, thanks, Phil. Man, your hair looks great tonight, by the way.
You sure? Yeah, I mean, I got a new haircut, but it looks all right.
Perfect.
Hey, guys.
Does this make me look fat?
No.
You look great.
You look good. Yeah, Kyle.
Thanks. That was really...
Sports, yeah. Ever wanted to be behind the mic and have the world listening to your show on campus? Well, it's just as simple as joining WPPJ, Point Park's student-run radio station, located on the second floor of Lawrence Hall, right next to the dining services. Listeners can tune in using Point Park's website or through the TuneIn app by searching WPPJ. WPPJ welcomes any new DJs that want to get involved, so be heard. Do you have what it takes?
Well, no one showed up to the show tonight. Follow my lead. In 3, 2, take 2, open mics, cue talent. Good evening and welcome to UView News. I'm Josh Croup. We begin with breaking news out of West Penn Hall. Ready, 3, take lower third. Traffic is backed up in the West Penn elevator line after elevator 1 broke down on the 7th floor. Lose lower third. Maintenance advises students to take the stairs to avoid delays. Ready, 2, take 2. In other news, no, you know what? I didn't sign up for this. We need crew. Join UView. Take alien hand transition.
The New Pittsburgh Courier has a long history of providing news that set the agenda for a variety of topics.
Point News reporter Ty Polk has the story.
And for over 50 years, the Courier served as the city's premier newspaper for the Black community. Now, 100 years after its founding, the paper is being honored. Point Park Center for Media Innovation teamed up with the Pittsburgh Black Media Federation to host a panel recognizing the Pittsburgh Courier's impact on the media landscape in Pittsburgh and across the nation. 30 people gathered to hear a panel media professionals speak about the legacy of the historic Black newspaper, which folded in 1966. Panelists at the event were BBC's Tanae Kroom, Damon Young, and from the VerySmartBrothers.com, ESPN's Jesse Washington, and the editor-publisher of the New Pittsburgh Courier, Rod Doss. Point News reporter Ty Polk interviewed Washington before the event in the CMI. The news package that he put together covering the Pittsburgh Courier's anniversary was shown at the beginning of the event.
It makes me think of all the Black journalists before me. I mean, going through, they were covering so many issues.
The monitor of the event and director of the CMI, Andrew Conde, volleyed the questions between the panelists. Several of the journalists shared their personal experiences with the Pittsburgh Courier, as well as discussing today's media's landscape for the Black community.
When we come back, the St. Patrick's Day festivities have already begun downtown.
Point News will be right back.
Here on the Pioneer Sideline, we talk a lot about sports in the studio, but it's beforehand when the conversation is actually interesting.
I hope I have enough powder on. I don't want to be too shiny on camera.
No, Trevor, I think it looks good every week you pull it off.
Ah, thanks, Phil. Man, your hair looks great tonight, by the way.
You sure? Yeah, I mean, I got a new haircut, but it looks all right.
Hey guys, does this make me look fat?
No, you look great. You look great.
Yeah, Kyle.
Thanks, I was really...
Sports, yeah!
Ever wanted to be behind the mic and have the world listening to your show on campus? Well, it's just as simple as joining WPPJ, Point Park's student-run radio station, located on the second floor of Lawrence Hall, right next to the dining services. Listeners can tune in using Point Park's website or through the TuneIn app by searching WPPJ. WPPJ welcomes any new DJs that want to get involved, so be heard. Do you have what it takes?
Well, no one showed up to the show tonight. Follow my lead. In 3, 2, take 2, open mics, cue talent. Good evening and welcome to UView News. I'm Josh Croup. We begin with breaking news out of West Penn Hall. Ready, 3, take lower third. Traffic is backed up in the West Penn elevator line after elevator 1 broke down on the 7th floor. Lose lower third. Maintenance advises students to take the stairs to avoid delays. Ready, 2, take 2. In other news, no, you know what? I didn't sign up for this. We need crew. Join UView. Take alien hand transition.
Welcome back, everybody. Although St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, the city of Pittsburgh kicked off the holiday festivities last Saturday with its annual parade.
Some feel that Pittsburghers may be faking the holiday fun. Point News reporter Alex Grubbs has the story.
Although almost a week ahead of the holiday, and with the cold, windy winter weather, this did not stop people from coming out for this occasion.
Thousands of people come out here to see the St. Patrick's Day holiday here on the Boulevard of the Allies on Point Park University's campus to get a feel for the Irish holiday here in the Burgh.
For some Point Park students, excitement was flowing for the yearly event.
The parade is the best part of St. Patrick's Day, especially the Irish dancers. That's our favorite part. And the dogs.
The parade featured traditional Irish dance performances, local school bands, the Irish spirit, and even dogs. According to the Pittsburgh Irish Network, the St. Patrick's Day parade has been going on in the city as early as 1869. Some folks have been attending this event for a long time.
I've been down here for the past probably 8 years for the parade.
Although ready for the day, a Pittsburgh local said his girlfriend, who is Irish, disagreed with the early celebration.
She told me that Pittsburgh people are faking it because it's not actually St. Patrick's Day. I said, that's not a good attitude.
Pittsburgh will continue its festivities through this weekend as St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Reporting for Point News, I'm Alex Groves.
Pennsylvania has had some positive growth towards unemployment in the past couple of months.
Ian Oldman has details on the job market in Pennsylvania. Ian?
Pennsylvania's new job outlook is generally positive. That's according to the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry's January jobs report. The state's unemployment percentage dropped 5.2%. That's down slightly from December. The total of non-agricultural jobs went up by more than 15,000 in January and now sits at a record high of almost 6 million. Also, resident employment rose by 4,000 while the unemployment number dropped. The construction industry joined the highest gain in employment numbers, went up by 6,000 jobs, and 3 industries reached record highs for employment numbers in January. January is the 5th consecutive month of the employment number rose and an unemployment figure dropped. As you can see, the state remains below the national unemployment average, which was 4.7%. For Point News, I'm Ian Oldman.
All right, thank you, Ian. So it's been absolutely freezing outside.
Yeah.
Glad that nor'easter, though, kind of missed us. We didn't get as much snow as we had anticipated, which I know I'm happy about, but
yeah,
freezing cold temperatures.
I'm really hoping we won't be getting any snow this weekend. No clue, though.
I know. Alex, what do we have going on for this week? Please tell me no snow.
He's walking in.
Put the full screen. Hey, if you look into this shot right now, you brought up that about the nor'easter. It was snowy outside when people were walking out of PPG Paints Arena Tuesday night. Earlier that day, snow wasn't really on the ground, but as people walked out, the snow was out there. As we look throughout the rest of the week, today, actually, well, it's not up yet, but today it's going to be around 35 degrees. It's not that snowy as it was earlier in the week. So later today it's going to get 23 degrees, but we shouldn't be expecting any snow. As we move across to the rest of the weekend, on Friday it's going to go up a little bit, but not by much. We might get some snow, maybe rain, but as we move to the rest of the weekend, if you look here on Saturday and Sunday, it's about to be around 45 degrees, around 30 degrees at the end. We might get a snow winter mix, but I guess we'll have to see for that. I'll toss it right over to Tanasia Law with sports.
Pittsburgh Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell underwent surgery for a groin injury that he sustained during the team's playoff run. Bell posted pictures of himself in a hospital gown and even posted various Snapchat videos announcing that he was going, quote, under. He also took to Twitter saying, quote, I appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers. Surgery went really well and groin already feels better than it did before. I'll be stronger, end quote. The Pro Bowl running back had aggravated the injury in Pittsburgh's loss to New England in the AFC Championship game. Bell revealed that he had been playing through the injury for, quote, a couple weeks, end quote. He told ESPN that he'd be ready for the Steelers' offseason workouts. And I wish that I were done talking about injuries, but not quite. Andrew Bogut was signed as a free agent with the Cleveland Cavaliers after the Dallas Mavericks bought him out. Bogut made his Cleveland debut, but the Australian broke his leg just 58 seconds into the game. The Cavs then signed 6'11" forward center Larry Sanders to a multi-year deal and waived Andrew Bogut. Sanders will make about $208,000 this year. He has not played in the NBA in 2 years. Sanders had a marijuana suspension and didn't want to play pro basketball when, the Milwaukee Bucks bought him out of his 2-year contract. 3 home runs is what it took for Point Park to win Game 1 of the doubleheader. They took on West Virginia University Tech 10-4, but the Pioneers lost the second game of the day 7-0. Overall, they won 3 of the 4-game series. Eric Montero and Edberg Dominguez hit back-to-back home runs to put the Pioneers up 3-1. Today's game is postponed due to weather. We'll let you know when it is rescheduled. I should add, Point Park softball team didn't do as well. They lost 1-0 in their final matchup at the Spring Games in Claremont, Florida. Finally, Point Park University sophomore Anna Shields claimed NAIA All-American honors in 2 different events at the final day of NAIA Indoor Track and Field National Championships from Johnson City, Tennessee. Shields placed second in the mile with a time of 4 minutes and 51 seconds. 2 hours later, she competed in the 1,000 meters and again placed second with a time of 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Shields became the first ever NAIA All-American for Point Park Track and Field, and its 3-year history has a program. Her placements earned a total of 16 points for Point Park's team, placing the Pioneers 18th in the final team standings. She had qualified for a total of 6 events at NAIA Indoor Nationals. Shields focused in on the mile, the 1,000 meters, and the distance medley relay at NAIA's, but she also qualified nationally in the 800 meters, 3,000 meters, and 5,000 meters. Jogging outside during the winter isn't uncommon, but what if you were outside running in your underwear? Point News reporter Casey Houlihan tells us about people running in their skivvies for charity.
Running in downtown Pittsburgh in the wintertime can be brutal even when you're all bundled up. But today, people will be running in a lot less for a good cause.
Pittsburgh hosted their 4th annual Cupid Undie Run this year, an event which is part of a much larger organization that raises money for the Children's Tumor Foundation.
The money that we raise funds research to end NF, which NF is neurofibromatosis. So currently there's no cure, so all the money that we raise goes towards that.
Many of the runners were raising money in honor of or to support people in their own lives.
We are running for our friend Kelsey Hanahan, so we have our Team Kelsey shirts.
Our daughter is 6 years old and she has NF, and she's been on chemo for 4 out of her 6 years, so we're here to end NF for her.
Some people may find the idea ridiculous, but there is a reason participants choose to run in the outfits that they do.
It's unique. Not many people want to strip down to their underwear. We do it because the kids that have this are uncomfortable all year long, so we figure everyone can be uncomfortable in their undies for a few hours.
The participants ran from McFadden's across the Roberto Clemente Bridge and back before resuming the party at the pub.
Before the run, we actually have a party at McFadden's for 2 hours. Then they go out and they do the run for however long it takes them to run a mile. Then they come back and they can drink for 2 more hours.
Shelley believes the combination of activities at the event is what makes it so successful.
It gets people out and makes people look, and mix alcohol and underwear and people will come.
Reporting for Point News, I'm Casey Houlihan.
Okay, going on the week, we were talking about weather earlier, but...
And we have a little bit more with weather. Alex Grubbs has it for us. Alex?
Yeah, started a little early, Tanasia. Going again this week on Friday. This weekend, it's going to warm up a little bit from today as we move to the rest of the week. Over here on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be 45 degrees, in the 30 degrees at night. We might have a snow-wintry mix going on. Spring is coming up next week, and I know the temperatures are going to warm up. It's still going to be cold. We had snow this past week because of the nor'easter and whatnot, but it wasn't as heavy as we were expecting it to be. But I think it's going to start warming up pretty soon as spring rolls around within the next couple weeks. Back to you, Veronica and Amanda over at the desk.
Well, thank you, Alex. I mean, there's nothing like having winter-like weather about 1 week out from the first day of spring.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to do. I mean, I switched out my winter clothes for my spring, but now I have to go back to my winter clothes. Not really sure what to do.
I know. Well, that's Pittsburgh for you. But we thank you for joining us this week on Point News. We'll be back next week. Thank you and have a great week, guys.